They're always free, they're donation only. Typically, the donations go to the musicians, but our musicians tonight have decided to turn all their money over to the Davis Oddfellows encampment to help send some local needy kids to summer camp next summer. So, player legend David Greer coming here. And if you haven't heard of David, I highly suggest you Google him, go to his webpage, and take a listen, because he's absolutely amazing, and we are honored that he is going to be coming to the hall. So that's Saturday, September 16th. The tickets are $20, and we're going to be selling them at the door. There's no advance tickets, and it'll be downstairs. It's a little more intimate downstairs, and the sound will be amazing. Our October 5th show is our 75th show. Our 75th show. We started about 9 years ago in October of 2009. So we're going to have a little bit of a celebration that night, and we couldn't do it without all of you, so give yourselves a hand and come down. That night, the Californios are a great local band. They played at the Davis Music Fest last summer. They'll be opening up for the Rita Hosking Trio, so that's going to be a great show. Then also in October, on October 9th, we are doing a Saturday live show. It's another paid concert that we're fortunate enough to be a part of. There's a gal, her name is Sarah Potenza. She was on America's Got Talent a couple years ago. She was a runner-up on the show, and she's a blues, amazing young woman, blues Janis Joplin, amazing voice, and she's passing through town and has asked if she could come to the hall and play for everybody. So that is on October 19th. That is also a $20 at the door show. Rolling Stone magazine says Potenza is to blues what Adele is to pop. So that kind of says a lot for it. So those are a few things to look out for. Look at the So, the Summer of Love. What was the Summer of Love? We all hear about it, but what was the event?
Who was there?
Yeah, who was there? Some of you, as they say, if you were there and you're raising your hand, you don't remember it and whatever. All right, so to give a little bit of background for the Summer of Love, we need to go back to the Beat Generation authors of the 1950s who flourished in San Francisco's North Beach. These were the people that inspired the youth who gathered in the Haight during summer of 1967. These kids rejected conformist and materialist values of the previous generation and put a greater emphasis on community and sharing. The prelude to the Summer of Love was a celebration known as the Human Be-In, and a couple people here tonight have already told me they were there. The Human Be-In was held in Golden Gate Park in January of 1967. It was a gathering of tribes who came together to rally against a recently passed California law banning LSD. At this gathering was Timothy Leary, who voiced the now famous phrase, "Turn on, tune in, drop out." This phrase became the chisel for shaping an entire hippie counterculture. As it voiced the ideas of the 1960s rebellion, these ideas included communal living, political decentralization, and dropping out, meaning separating from mainstream culture through lifestyle and appearance. The Be-In was announced by Haight-Ashbury's hippie newspaper, the San Francisco Oracle, as follows. A new concept of celebrations beneath a human underground must emerge, becoming conscious and be shared so a revolution can be formed with a renaissance of compassion, awareness, and love, and the revelation of unity for all humankind.
Woo.
Yeah, we could use that again. You got it here. Except it was a gathering of 30,000 people, and it helped publicize hippie fashions and hippie lifestyle. The Grateful Dead, at this point, Haight-Ashbury's official house band, performed. Allen Ginsberg led the crowd chanting mantras, and Owsley Stanley distributed copious amounts to LSD throughout the crowd. It was a very happy crowd. The band generated so much national attention that the following month, swarms of youth from all over America descended upon the Haight.
Bring it on.
The term Summer of Love originated with the formation of the Council of the Summer of Love during the spring of 1967 as a response to the convergence of young people in the Haight. The local council supposedly came up with the title Summer of Love to put a more positive spin on the druggy, hairy, hippie gatherings that were portrayed negatively by the media. Can you imagine? The council was composed of the Family Dog, the Straight Theater, the Diggers, the San Francisco Oracle, and others who helped to alleviate some of the problems anticipated by the influx of people expected that summer. The council also assisted the free clinic and organized housing, food, sanitation, music, and arts, along with maintaining coordination with local churches and other social groups. The media's reportage of the counterculture included other events in California, such as the Fantasy Fair and Magic Music Festival in Marin, and the Monterey Pop Festival, both in June of 1967. Media coverage of the Monterey Pop Festival facilitated the Summer of Love as large members of hippies traveled to California to hear some of their favorite bands, such as The Who, The Grateful Dead, Quicksilver Messenger Service, The Animals, Jefferson Airplane, The Jimi Hendrix Experience, Otis Redding, The Byrds, Big Brother and the Holding Company with Janis Joplin. Musician John Phillips of the Mamas and Papas wrote the song San Francisco, Be Sure to Wear Flowers in Your Hair for his friend Scott McKenzie. It served to promote the pop festival and popularize the flower children of San Francisco. Released May 13, 1967, it was an instant success. The single purportedly sold 7 million copies worldwide. Other events held that year. In London's Hyde Park, a legalized pop rally was held at Speaker's Corner on July 16th. It featured Allen Ginsberg and assorted London police. The Beatles were a major influence, releasing Sgt. Pepper's Lonely Hearts Club Band on June 1st of 1967. Other key albums that year included Jimi Hendrix's Are You Experienced, Cream's Disraeli Gears, Pink Floyd's Piper at the Gates of Dawn, and the self-titled album From the Doors. After losing his teaching position in the faculty department at Harvard University, Timothy Leary became a major advocate for recreational use of psychedelic drugs.
Psychotic drugs?
Well, what happened to him? For personal development. And on the West Coast, author Ken Kesey, a prior volunteer for a CIA-sponsored LSD experiment, also advocated the use of the drug and was inspired to write the best-selling novel One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest. After buying an old school bus and painting it with psychedelic graffiti and attracting a group of like-minded individuals he dubbed the Merry Pranksters, Kesey and his group traveled across the country hosting acid tests. They would fill large containers of diluted low-dose acid and hand out diplomas to those who passed their test. Cannabis was also used during this period. But all good things must come to an end. At the end of 1967, the summer of 1967, many people left to resume their college studies, and those remaining in the Haight wanted to commemorate the conclusion of the event. A mock funeral was held entitled The Death of the Hippie Ceremony. It was held on October 6, 1967. And finishing out the Summer of Love in New York City, the rock musical drama Hair, which told the story of the hippie counterculture and sexual revolution, began its off-Broadway run on October 17, 1967. So, may I introduce to you the only one and only Davis All-Star Band.